So, I'm just gonna go ahead and say right off the bat that Doom is quickly becoming one of, if not my favorite first-person shooter of all time. Now, when people got a chance to play the multiplayer beta, the response from those who played it was, less than promising. A lot of people were under the impression that the game would flop and be just another Call of Duty clone. It also didn't help that no one was given review copies of the game prior to release, so everyone was completely in the dark. Well, I've never seen a game that was bashed so harshly do a complete 180 and get showered with praise the way this game has, and I've gotta say, it's all 100% warranted. The vast majority of people who were skeptical were shockingly surprised at just how good the campaign is, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it is. Let me be honest for a second. I fell out of shooters a long time ago. Growing up, I loved them and spent hours and hours on them, specifically Quake, another id IP and the successor to the original Doom. It was a game that made me fall in love with first-person shooters, and not just the single-player experience. The Quake series was my first introduction to online multiplayer, playing the first Quake on GameSpy. Like Doom, the game was fast-paced, dark, and batshit crazy. No hiding off in a nook somewhere to get just the right shot to pick off an enemy. Just carnage. Fast movement, high jumps, no regenerating health, in-your-face action, hidden areas, hidden keys. The kind of game that rewards having the balls to rush at your enemy as opposed to hiding from them. This was the allure of Quake, which inherited all those traits from Doom. As time went on, first-person shooters went through this transformation which eliminated almost all the things that I loved about them, or as the industry likes to call it, modernized them. Well, for years now I've been saying that I did not like first-person shooters anymore. I thought I just grew out of them, when in reality, they just kind of grew out of me. People keep complaining about how Call of Duty and to a lesser degree Halo keep rehashing themselves, and every time they try to innovate by changing up mechanics, people have something to complain about as well, and I never realized why before. But the reason isn't that modern shooters need to implement new mechanics. It changes nothing because fundamentally the game is the same. Maps may change, graphics may upgrade, but at the end of the day, at the core, the games are the same. Now this would be fine for a game franchise that only has releases 1 or 2 times during a console's lifespan, but for a game that gets released every single year, it just gets really tiring. Doom, however, is different. Although a step back as opposed to a step forward, it's so refreshing to play a game that feels different in a genre that in my opinion always feels so samey. Sometimes a genre just needs change, regardless of which direction that change goes. Doom, in soul and spirit, feels like the classic shooters of the 90s, and I fucking love it. When speaking with a friend of mine, I asked her what she thought of the new Doom, and she told me she still needed to play more of it, and that she does like it, but not as much as everyone else seems to. She went on to say that there wasn't a whole lot of substance to the game, and that the style of gameplay was good when it came out, but that it has less of a place in 2016. Now, I respect her opinion, but I couldn't disagree more. People are loving this game for a reason, and I believe that just because a game has a classic feel, doesn't mean that the game also has to feel dated. It's the reason people ate up Shovel Knight, and why now, after A Hat in Time and Yooka-Laylee, people are showing interest in collectathon platformers. When a lot of the popular genres started to evolve, the internet was not what it is now, and was not as influential to the gaming industry as it is now. No one really said, we don't like this style of gameplay anymore. The industry just kind of did what it did, and we were just along for the ride. And now, in 2016, we have more influence than ever before, and I don't think it's a coincidence that so many genres and franchises are just now being resurrected. I believe that there's a place in this industry for the modern and for the classic. As far as Doom lacking substance, that's kind of the point. Doom is non-stop fun that really never slows down, not even for the story. It's a game that doesn't need deep lore because it's too busy being frantic as fuck. It's brutal, in-your-face, gory, and unforgiving. If you slow down, you die. There's a place for every type of gameplay, but in my opinion, I have way more fun circle strafing around hordes of enemies and blowing them to bits with a shotgun or cutting them in half with a chainsaw than hiding behind a barrel to get the perfect headshot from 10,000 feet away. I get that people love that style of shooter, but it's just not my thing, and it sucks that for years I felt alienated in a genre I grew up loving. Doom feels like a return to form, and it's making me love shooters again. I've heard that Wolfenstein: The New Order, developed by Machine Games, is not dissimilar to this style of gameplay, and frankly, I can't wait to play that also. With any luck, it will reboot Quake as well, because if this is the direction they'd take it, I'm all in. I originally started writing this video with the full intent to just gush about Doom for 5 minutes, but the reasons why I like it just went so much deeper than the game itself. At the end of the day, I don't consider myself a reviewer, and I'm not gonna sit here and break the game down and give some kind of numerical score. I'm just here to tell you that I played a game and it's fucking great. It's not often that I actually finish games nowadays because there's just so many games to play, they come out so frequently, and games have become such long experiences that I find myself often starting a game, getting a couple hours into it, and then putting it down. even with games that I actually do like. But every now and then, a game comes out that I cannot keep my hands off of, and Doom is one of those games. It has me hooked. I do try to take breaks after I complete a mission, but it doesn't take long for me to pick the controller back up and ignore everything around me for hours just to focus on the game. It's the reason it took me like a week to actually start writing this video. This game is nothing but fun. If you have any love at all for the shooters of old, or even if you just like a high-energy, fast-paced game that's just all-around fun with none of the padding, I urge you to buy this game, because you will not be disappointed. I promise you.